Hi. Hi, everyone. We are now live on this Thursday, April. Living in the
Look
past.
at you.
April 11, 2024. Before we start, yes, Omar, I'm going to do this again. This is a very busy time in the Poupar family. Shout out to mom and dad on their 69th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Think
You
about
got
that.
so everybody has anniversaries and birthdays right around the same time.
All around the same time. But that's it for a while now. But happy anniversary. They're not going to watch the podcast, but I'm
They're
putting
like,
out there
screw
in the
your
universe.
podcast, Poupard.
Say what?
They're like, screw your Poupard. Sorry.
They are so technologically unadvanced. There are no words to describe it. They live somewhere where they actually have no internet. So
Nuh-uh, you're lying.
yeah, no, I'm not lying.
There's no internet in this
They
part of
have
Canada where they live.
where they live in the mountains. They have no internet, no cell service. Good
No
old
cell service.
landline.
Did you say no cell service?
Correct. Good old landline, baby. Yep.
Wow.
Anyway,
I didn't think those places existed in the world.
but they do. But they do. Okay, so we're going to talk, I guess, a little bit of draft. Do we need to talk about Christian Wilkins' podcast appearance with Jacksonville Jaguars defensive lineman Eric Armstead?
That was so weird for me because I'm like looking at my ex and the guy that I wish the Dolphins would have signed is like interviewing him. So I'm like, man, that's kind of awkward. You'd have to think that they're probably with the same agency, which is also awkward. But then for those who don't know, sometimes NFL teams, you're a Drew team, you're a CAA team, you're an Octagon team, you're athletes first team. Dolphins happen to be an athlete first team. Just let me put it out there.
Is that Mulueta's outfit? Okay, there you go.
Mulueta, yes.
Mulueta. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's phonetically spelled Mulugetas, but I don't know how to spell. They also indicated, Christian indicated, kind of suggested that they're friends who have worked out together in the offseason quite often. They're not from the same draft class. Armstead's older. Armstead played at Oregon, and then with the 49ers, Wilkins played at Clemson with the Dolphins. And yeah, that would make sense that maybe the
elite players trade together.
By the way, Duke Tomlinson, no, that's not the only hat I have. In fact, I have 3 of these bad boys. I have the pinwheel, the exposed pinwheel. I have other hats that are non-exposed hats, believe it or not, including a Dolphins hat that I use when I play tennis. I have an FIU hat, which is where I attended college.
Why are you playing tennis in a Dolphins hat? I'm curious. Answer the question.
There's no rhyme or reason. It fits well, and I need the hat to stay on to help me cover from the sun. I was going back to, I have an FIU hat where I went to school, home of Thierry Tart, the newest Dolphin defensive lineman, and Jonnu Smith, the Dolphin. And I have several others. I have a Quebec Nordiques hat. I have Florida Panthers. I have Seattle Supersonics.
So you like all teams that have lost their franchises. So you'll soon be getting an Oakland Athletics hat. And
a Arizona Coyotes hat too, because they're about to move to Salt Lake City.
Wow. There's somebody else who's on the move too, who's getting shaken down. Can't remember what team it is. But,
what sport?
Huh? I don't remember. I thought it would be baseball. Probably.
No, I think
Ignore me. I heard something when the Oakland Athletics came up. I heard there was some other team that was like on the verge of moving or getting taken away, and we'll see. I don't know.
Isaiah said, "Get a Marlins hat; they will be gone one day."
Not with that sweetheart stadium deal they got.
Exactly. Got my buddy Francois Fontaine. Bonjour de Montréal. Hi, Francois. So let's go back to that Christian Wilkins interview. I got excited when Armstead asked him about the free agency process, but then Christian kind of like didn't. I was hoping this is where had a journalist done the interview, and no knock on Armstead. Dude,
Wow.
you don't think we would have asked him about what kind of offer he got? Was he always looking to leave? Did he feel he was treated fairly by the Dolphins? The idea of betting on himself last year, how much of a gamble was that?
So you wanted real journalism questions, which is a very valid point, and I will acknowledge the fact that when I ran I Am Athlete, the journalism aspect of athletes interviewing other athletes, it was not a very strong point, but I really worked hard to make them ask better questions, ask more revealing questions, follow up on things. So you make a valid point.
Well, the other part of it too is if a player thinks or suspects he's going to get grilled on a podcast by another athlete, chances are he's not going to go.
Yes, but sometimes they lead to way more revealing conversations because they let their guard down and they feel like, you know what I've been through. You've experienced what I've been through. You know my struggles. You know what it's like. You could relate. And so it does lead to probably better interviews, in my opinion. But yes, do they get more nuts and bolts, details, specifics that we as journalists need and use? No, I don't agree with you. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, no, the most revealing thing he said, and there wasn't anything that was overly shocking. I did write about it on the side.com/NFL/Dolphins. I guess he said he gave his heart and soul to the Dolphins, was really hoping to bring a championship to the city. Money is not his number one motivating factor, although he does consider it a nice accomplishment and accolade to now be the second highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL based on the annual average, behind only Chris Jones, now that Aaron Donald has retired. But he's not going to change his process. But he had a funny line that the next generation of Wilkinses are pretty much set.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, especially for your second contract. What people don't realize is no matter where you're selected, and that includes first-round picks. Tua, for instance, will make $33 million on the first 4 years of his first-round contract. This upcoming season, he will make $23 million. Mm-hmm. So, and then when he gets his new deal, whether you want to consider it cheap to give him a Daniel Jones deal, which is what that guy over there thinks he deserves, which is never going to be signed.
Oh, I never said that. Whoa. Put words in my mouth. Why don't you?
708. Yeah. Oh, you think
I never said that. I said they shouldn't sign him, period.
Okay.
For a long-term extension at this particular time, they should.
But if they do offer him a deal, you're like, oh, Daniel Jones, that's the ceiling of what I'd pay him.
No, I wouldn't pay him. That's my point. I never said I wouldn't pay him. That's my point. And here's the other part of it.
You don't even think he's worth a Daniel Jones deal.
He's better than Daniel Jones. That's not the issue. My issue is I do not.
That's not the question I asked you, sir. Do you or do you not think that he's worth the Daniel Jones deal?
No, he's not. Right now, to me, he's not worth making a commitment for another 3 years where you're locked into a big salary. No, sorry. And this is where, again, do you honestly think his agents would accept a Daniel Jones type deal right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And then we actually talked about this a little bit earlier. What's more disrespectful, making Tua pay on the 5th-year option or telling him you're getting Daniel Jones money or you're not and not a penny more?
Making me play on the 5th-year option.
That's more disrespectful?
Oh, yeah. Daniel Jones money means I'm at least walking away with $120 million in guaranteed money, or actually more like, because they'll probably lump in the 5th-year option. So more like I'm walking away with $100 million in guaranteed money. And the $100 million is better than 23. What suppose he comes out in week 5 and suffers another hip injury? What?
You're right. No, I'm weighing 100 million versus 23. So you're right. It's more.
Yeah, it's, but if you want to do the Christian Wilkins double down bet and say, okay, you think I'm worth that, let me let the market, and I'm not saying the market is going to bear this for him, but let me let the market take over and determine and dictate what I'm making. And everybody who hit the market, Christian Wilkins, overpaid or paid properly. Answer the question.
You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you.
Answer the question,
Said
sir.
your market value is what somebody's willing to pay you.
I agree with you. In Alan Poupard's opinion, is Christian Wilkins overpaid at 22?
I don't believe he should. Here's the thing: is if I'm going to compare him to other DTs, he's not number 2 in the NFL to me, which is where
$24 million for Christian Wilkins. You paying it or you not?
How much?
$24 million a year
Annually. What's Jeffrey Simmons get?
Like 21.
Then he needs to go under Jeffrey. But I understand it's a later deal, and it always goes up. But again, to me, Jeffrey Simmons is a better player. I think Quinnen Williams is a better player than Christian Wilkins. Even though I know you disagree with me on that.
Last year, not totality of work.
Quinnen Williams is a better player than Christian Wilkins. And here, first time tonight, I said what I said.
Christian Wilkins had a better season than Quinnen Williams last year. What?
Disagree. Well, let's agree to disagree.
Okay, Robert Hunt, overpaid?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Brandon Jones, overpaid, compensated
Absolutely.
properly. Raekwon Davis, overpaid or compensated properly?
What was his deal? 2 for 14 or 2 for 7?
No, 2 for 14. 7 a year.
He did very well for himself. Let's put it that way. He did very well for himself. And maybe used differently, he blossoms.
Is Raekwon Davis better than Jordan Phillips? Answer that question, since I'm backing you into corners.
Jordan Phillips, who, by the way, we should point out, is signing with the New York Giants. So Omar's crushed right now because he's not coming back to Miami.
Darn it!
I know.
I didn't know that though. But I try to keep up with Jordan Phillips. So when I go to New York, I gotta keep one eye open.
It's a shame they don't play the Giants this year. I think Raekwon Davis is slightly better than Jordan Phillips. I don't think it's a huge. There's a huge difference there, though.
Jordan Phillips made splash plays. Raekwon never did. So I actually would disagree with you on that one.
Except I think Raekwon's level of play is more like this, where Jordan Phillips will have the occasional big play, and then there'll be an awful lot of this.
Okay, that's fair.
But I wouldn't haggle either way. It's not like there's a clear disadvantage there. What else we need to discuss? We have a list of the 13 players currently scheduled to attend the draft. As I mentioned on Twitter, probably 2 of those have maybe a shot of being there when the Dolphins select at 21. That would be Laiatu Latu from UCLA, man.
Latu.
Yeah, him too. And then the other one might be Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU. I'm not huge on the Dolphins taking a wide receiver in the first round. I think edge defender, actually, the more I think about edge defender is the way to go, not only because of the uncertainty with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, but because who knows how long Bradley Chubb is going to be there. The Dolphins restructured his contract. He's got no guaranteed money after this year. He does have those. Omar, say it after me.
No, I ain't saying it. No, I don't want to talk about that.
You're boycotting. He's got void years, so who knows how long Bradley Chubb's going to be around. So
I'm void-yearing the void year contracts.
You're avoiding the void years talk.
Yeah, every Dolphin fan's going to be like, "Oh, it's a brilliant idea," until they realize how it's such a dumb thing to do, making a bad problem worse. I'm actually looking up his contract now.
While you do that, I should point out that Mel Kiper Jr. in his latest mock indeed had an edge defender to the Dolphins at 21, and that was Jared Verse from Florida State. I've also seen the aforementioned Latu mocked to the Dolphins. I saw Chop Robinson, the edge defender from Penn State, who I believe it was Chris Kaufman commented on him strictly by saying Cameron Wake. And if he's suggesting that he's another Cameron Wake, I would say sign me up. But I think that's the way to go, more so than offensive line.
You know, it's funny. In 2025, Bradley Chubb's deal, all of its guarantee money is completed. Bradley Chubb's deal gives you the exact identical amount in cap savings, actually for the next 2 years. So the next 2 years are option years for Bradley Chubb, unless they choose to restructure his contract. Ridiculous amount of dead money as a post June 1st cut. Just let me be more specific, as a post June 1st cut. So it's all good. Void years, throw more void years on.
There you go. It's funny. Superfish goes, who is Mel Kiper? That's funny.
Who's Todd McShay? Joe keeps bringing that up about Todd McShay. Just ESPN got rid of him in the
Yep, I agree.
Salary rollbacks.
Yeah, because ESPN doesn't make enough money.
And he never surfaced anywhere. And it's not like it's a huge, big industry for draft gurus.
Mm-hmm.
But
by the way, the joke about who is Mel Kiper, that refers to an incident.
Indianapolis Colts.
Another one, Indianapolis Colts. There you go. Who's that was Tobin. Bill Tobin, I want to say, maybe was a Colts GM at the time. And
the Rays? No.
The what?
Franchise that might be moving. No, it's not.
I think they settled their lease though with that stadium in Tampa though. That was a team that they had talked about maybe they would be splitting games with the Expos, which to me doesn't work. But anyway, no, going back to that Mel Kiper thing with the Colts, he was berating them for not drafting Trent Dilfer, which in retrospect, I mean, Trent Dilfer was not exactly a Hall of Fame.
What was his tirade about?
About Trent Dilfer. The Colts that year had picks 2 and 5, and they wound up picking Trev Alberts at 5, linebacker from Nebraska, and they picked somebody else at 2. I don't know I don't remember who it was. And he was going nuts on them for not taking Trent Dilfer and then he was knocking the organization. And you wonder why the Colts suck every year, because decisions like this.
Mm-hmm.
And Trent Dilfer wound up 6th at Tampa Bay, did become, Omar, I will do you proud here, become a Super Bowl champion as the starting quarterback, even though he rode the coattails of the Baltimore Ravens defense.
He did. That's fair. But he's a champion, and he's a great coach, and he was Tua's first mentor. So let's put some respect on him.
He was. Oh, and apparently Tua today confirmed that he's indeed working with John Beck, something he would not do at his football clinic over the weekend.
Tua at his luau.
At his luau. So apparently that came out. And then the other thing, he said he confirmed he will be attending the offseason program, which for the Dolphins starts Monday. Why are you shaking your head? Oh, I know, because Omar, you were at Omar, player agent. You were advocating for him to sit out.
No. You could show up to this and show up to everything. Definitely don't play in any exhibition games. And, you at some point you're going to have to force their hand. And you do that in the offseason. Now, Tua could play nice, and he might be fine with playing on the 5th-year option and taking it to the market. Tua will be all right, no matter what.
Maybe. We will find out. It wouldn't be as all right as if you got a monster deal now. I think that would be his obviously ideal. Speaking of ideal, since we're 2 weeks, by the way, we are 2 weeks before the draft. If I were to tell you right now, not necessarily either player or position or move, what's your ideal scenario for the Dolphins right now?
Been thinking about this long and hard, and I'm trying to create a list of like 10 players that I absolutely select if I'm there at 21. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can create that list. It might be down to like 7, 8, but you got to factor in snap count. And I personally believe, and especially when you have a 2nd round pick, which you're basically going to take BPA as well. We know Chris Greer doesn't rely on need. So I personally believe that this team is not talented deep enough with young players. Like, you can't name me, and I've been looking, name me 5 players under 25 that you're scared you're not going to be able to afford in a season or 2. I'll give you 2. Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle. Okay, now name anybody else.
HN?
Okay, he counts.
Javon Holland?
He counts. Savon Ahmed.
That's not nice.
I'm just throwing out in players.
No, that might be it.
Yeah, you got 4 players. I when you have a roster where the young players, Cater Coho, come on, let's throw some Cater in there. Let's be respectful of Cater.
That should be, as a player, you'd be afraid you will not be able to retain.
Hell, you couldn't retain Brandon Jones. You couldn't retain Brandon Jones.
Okay, and I mean, no offense, and I like Cater. He's a really good guy, and we actually speak French whenever we see each other in the locker room. But
he's the only guy who understands you.
Maybe. Well, Neville Gallimore's from Ontario. I doubt he speaks French, but
because those Ontario people, they don't know the native tongue, huh?
And his parents, I believe, are Jamaican or Bahamian. So.
Also, they were the Jamaican to Canada migrants. Okay,
there you go.
Gotcha.
So anyway, no, I don't think Cater Coho is a guy that you fret losing. With all due respect to Cater Coho.
There just needs to be more, and to do that, I think I'm more along the lines of trading down. I think this Dolphins organization, throughout the course of years, have shown you that they can develop talent. That's not so they can develop talent and get the most out of it, or get a good quantity of contribution out of it. I am of the opinion that you need quantity, not quality, at this stage in the game for this organization. And you need to walk away from this draft with about 6 players, and that includes undrafted players that they're going to develop like Julian Hill and Chris Brooks. But you need 6 players from this draft class that say, man, I really like their future and I really like where they're headed.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you. I hate it. I don't like it when I agree with you, but I agree with you. I think the move is to trade down, say 21 to 20 to 28 or 29 or whatever, pick up a late third round pick, add more young pieces, young cheap pieces to this roster. They had
and it's really the cheap element of it that's the important part, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Young cheap labor that you have locked up. Because keep in mind, you paid a guy like Raekwon Davis maybe $5 million total for the course of his rookie season, the rookie deal, and now he's signing on the second year of his contract, making $7 million a season. So you need those young players that you have them locked up on cheap labor, and you're able to supplement the rest of your roster and fill voids. Now, that only works if the players are good and can play, which sometimes that's not the case for the Miami Dolphins. But that's how the good teams build their organizations. Yes, they pay a quarterback when they've got a quarterback, but they also have a Ross Pittsburgh. Look, for instance, when's the last time you seen Pittsburgh sign a free agent receiver? Don't happen.
It's because they nail every wide receiver. I mean, they're incredible at that. But they're incredible at that in the later rounds. I mean, they found Antonio Brown. They found
Chase Claypool. No.
Yeah, and Chase Claypool was the second round. So, but no, but it's a long list, and of course I'm blanking right now after only Antonio Brown. But there were more than that. This is something they do very well. KC seems to find DBs all over the place.
Mm-hmm. They should try to find a receiver. Oh, they did. He just got arrested.
Wow, man, you went there. Maybe that prompts him to sign Odell Beckham Jr. away from the Miami Dolphins, or maybe they'll sign Jarvis Landry to add some toughness to their wide receiver core. Sorry, had to be done.
Oh, why are you gonna laugh at that? Like I'm dead serious.
I know.
Not just your wide receiving core, your whole offense.
I know. Sorry, had to be done. Okay, you want to attack some of these questions we have here?
Yes, sir.
We'll start off with our very
JC Novelli.
Norville. JC Norville. Come on, man.
Come on. Norville. JC Norville. Yes, we love you too, brother.
There you go. Thank you very much, JC. I like this one here. You can go first if you want. Ted Skowronek II. When is Tua going to get clutch receivers?
Define clutch receivers. Is Tyreek Hill a clutch receiver?
I'm going to guess, Ted, that you are suggesting that because Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle once in a while drop passes, which they do, that they are not clutch receivers. So number one, let's decipher this. Let's unpack this. Number one, how many of those quote unquote clutch receivers who are not going to drop passes are there legitimately in the NFL? That's number one. Number two, sure, Tyreek and Jalen drop some passes that they should not drop. However, they also provide Tua with the fastest, by far, starting wide receiver tandem in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
Name me a better wide receiver tandem in the NFL than Tyreek and Tua. Commenters, give me one.
Correct. So you guess what? Yeah, would it be nice if they didn't drop the pass? Yeah, of course. But again, pick your poison. And I don't think Tua or Tua fans have any room to complain about what he has at wide receiver. I mean, those guys. Okay, go ahead. What are you doing?
I'm trying to hook up my brother here.
I know we take care of the people who take care of us first. You know the rule.
Oh, but come on. I'll lose this and never find it again.
Okay.
Listen, here's a secret. I know it's a strip club, but Tootsie's has phenomenal wings. And you could actually just order takeout from Tootsie's and you don't have to go in and see the strippers. I know your wife is never going to believe you. I don't know if they do Uber Eats. But there's also I like Bo Camper's wings. What's the other linebacker that has
Bruce Room?
Bruce Room. And I'm not just saying these because they're good linebackers, but they got good wings. And Miami Sports Grill, special grill, never fails. If you're gonna order wings, and I don't know where you live, but I'm a big wings person. Finger licking also has good wings, but your sodium is going to be through the roof. But yes,
that's the blood pressure.
Yeah, it trust me. But that's my answer.
And we had some. I have to text my wife because she's on her way to work. We had some killer wings not too long ago. They were really, really good.
From around here?
Yeah, they weren't like buffalo wings. They were like grilled wings.
Grilled wings
were really, really good.
Flanagan's got some good wings too, but they got some good ribs.
It wasn't Flanagan's. I'll go ahead and text her and see if she can
find out where you got those wings from.
Yeah, they were very.
We're neighbors.
Our good friend Marsalis and Marsalis proving once again that he is the man. I agree with Poupard. Those are the great first forward. Sorry, go back here. If they don't pay and commit to Tua, draft a QB now.
Won't happen.
Not going to happen. Not their MO. In the event that they do not go,
they won't even have a conversation with a QB.
Pretty much, correct.
They see QB, they'll turn the other way because they don't want to be accused of cheating.
Creating full. By the way, hey, maybe they go after Tom Brady. I don't know if you saw, but he threw out that whole thing like he would not be opposed to making a comeback under the right circumstances. Said that on a podcast today. I think the Dolphins would probably tread very lightly around Tom Brady after they lost 2 draft picks for tampering with him.
His kids must be sick of seeing him already.
Yeah, and I think there might be an element of trolling in this little comment too. Like, let me stay relevant.
Is he supposed to be doing TV for like $30 million a year?
For Fox, and he's also bidding to be an owner, a minority owner of the Raiders that hasn't been approved yet. So, or I don't think it's been approved yet. I think it's still.
Warning was in anyway. All right.
Okay, next one. This is just a thank you very much. The Crazy Greek. Love Greek food, by the way.
I don't know what Greek food is.
Apropos of nothing. Euro platters.
That's salad based, right?
No, it's lamb. It's lamb meat. They're also the spices also are very, very, very good. Hummus. All that type. Okay, I'll take us up. Shuggy Wuggy, thank you very much. Do you think we need more secondary help like Justin Simmons?
I think you absolutely need more secondary help, but not Justin Simmons, because when you have Justin Simmons, what do you do with Von Holland and Jordan Poyer? Not to say that it wouldn't benefit you to add Justin Simmons, and I would play Javon Holland as a nickel cornerback, but I know the Dolphins will not do that because they care too much about what people think. If I'm going to answer honestly.
We always want to answer honestly. Do you think having Jordan Poyer completely eliminates the need for another safety?
No, but I mean, I think they could use 3 safeties. Apparently Baltimore used a lot of 3 safety sets. But what do I know? I don't know.
You know nothing. Sorry. You know nothing.
Who said that? That's
that was from
you know nothing, Jon Snow.
That was another one. Yeah, you know nothing. Thank you, Ygritte, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, big thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Just a thank you.
Are you showing off your pecs, Steve? Is that what you're doing?
Damn.
Sure?
Yep. Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it.
It makes me want to do my 100 sit-ups. 100 push-ups.
Let me go ahead and read it. Just a thank you for all the great content you provide to this whole Fin fan and the grateful and ungrateful ignorant Dolphin community. We're grateful for everybody who pays attention to what we have to say and what we write on si.com/NFL/Dolphins. Nobody has to agree with anything or everything we say. To me, again, you can express your disagreement while staying respectful about it.
Yeah, I've always liked that. I've always said this, and I truly do believe this. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. I don't need you to agree that Jarvis Landry is perfect fit for what the Dolphins need. Just hear me out. Think about it. Give it some consideration and understand my viewpoint, just like I work hard to understand your viewpoint. Sometimes when you do the work and you do the research, it sort of opens up your mind and horizons. You've seen it. You've seen me do it many times where I'm like, that's a stupid idea. And then I start to think about it, dig into it, look at it, research it, ask around, and I'll be like, that makes a lot of sense. Like Odell Beckham. Initially, when I heard it, I was like, that's dumb. Then I actually went and looked at the film, and I was just like, oh, damn. I see exactly what Mike McDaniel would see in him. Like, everything that he does is exactly what's missing from this Dolphins receiving unit. And he is already not scared to coach guys with ego and arrogance and he's not scared about that. So it would be a perfect fit. But anyway.
Except let me bring this up though. And and by the way, quickly, I just remembered the place with the very, very good chicken wings was Carolina Ale House in Doral. Those were damn good.
Okay.
Yep. So here's the thing. Going back to Jarvis,
you ordered it, take delivery, or
no? We ate there. We had a little reunion for the old company I used to work for.
Okay, all right.
Good time was had by all, and
Doral is trending upwards. I went to the Doral Comedy Club last weekend.
Oh,
and
nice.
I enjoy Comedy Club. Marco, give Marco a shout out. He's on QAM. He's one of the producers on QAM, and he works there. So he hooks a brother up, So go you.
I love comedy clubs.
Okay, we could go together. Come on, let's go. Double date.
Works for me. Deal. Going back to Jarvis Landry, could there be I'm just throwing it out there. Could there be an issue because when it went south with him the first time, when he wound up being traded to the Cleveland Browns, it was kind of a little bit of a
sour ending. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That was under very former regimes. That was an issue with Mike Tannenbaum and Adam Gase. It was personal. I do believe
the GM at the time was Chris Greer, even though he didn't have the juice he has now, but he was the GM at the time.
Come on, it was Mike Tannenbaum. Jarvis went up there and begged Mike Tannenbaum to give him a deal. Jarvis was playing with a broken back, begged Mike Tannenbaum to give him a deal before in the season's final month. Give me this deal. I'll continue to play. We'll continue to push through it. Dolphins basically turned their nose up at him. I was like, finish out the season, and we'll see. He finished out the season. They slapped him with the franchise tag. then basically learned that he's basically was like double birdies, and we're forced to trade him. Remember when Adam Gase used to say, "There's no way I'm coaching here without Jarvis Landry," and turned out that was a. Oh, you never heard that?
No, but there was rumblings that they found him difficult to coach.
Afterwards, when
but that may have been.
Come on. Jarvis was a dog, and you had to keep him on a leash. And if you let him off a leash, he might bite people. But didn't you need that? Didn't you, as a team, need that?
I'm a big Jarvis Landry fan. I like that. He is, in all my years of covering the Dolphins, and that's a lot of years, he is way up there in terms of dogginess. He may rival Brian Cox, and Brian Cox is like, I mean,
that's a good comparison right there. But Jarvis was more contained. Only time I'd ever seen Jarvis not contained was his spat with Adam Beasley. Yeah, that was the only time
what happened with that?
You don't remember that? You weren't there. It was a Baltimore game. It was the game where Kiko like leveled Joe Flacco.
It was a Thursday night game. They got spanked in Baltimore.
Yeah. And Jarvis was heated. And Beasley, I don't remember what Beasley asked him. We got to have Beasley on the podcast.
Yes.
I don't remember what the line of questioning was, but Jarvis was off his leash and was about to bite Beasley. And Bo Camper had to get in it and like separate. Yeah. Oh yeah. This was Kevin Burnett-esque with me.
Okay.
It was spicy. And I was like, okay. That was such an entertaining post-game press conference, which is it's like post-game situation. It got spicy. It got real spicy. And then Jarvis is like, how you gonna ask me a dumb bleeping question like that? Like I forget what he asked him. There was video. Well, how is there not video? There's got to be video. Yeah.
Okay. We'll get on Beasley to find out. Marsalis again. Thank you, Marsalis. Question: even with how long it takes to learn Spanish, as Omar says, you wouldn't draft now and develop a QB when Tua could walk next season?
I would. They will not. That answers your question. I would.
I agree. I think the last thing they want is to have, for example, just to throw out a name out there, Michael Penix Jr. on the roster, and then if Tua struggles either in the preseason or the training camp and Penix is lighting it up, the last thing they want is for there to be calls of like throwing Penix in there.
This team is absolutely allergic. When I say allergic, I mean hives. I mean convulsions. Allergic to quarterback competition. It will never happen with this franchise. Ever. So they would run from quarterback controversy. So don't ever expect it to happen.
Yeah, I don't either. And we're not saying that it's the wrong move, because it's not, but not happening.
Yes. I believe in Tua, and I know you need to draft a quarterback and begin the process of developing him. It doesn't matter what I think of Tua. It's never a bad idea. And if you needed a tackle, there's one in free agency. If you need a center, there's one in free agency. If you need a pass rusher, there's one in free agency. There is nothing that drafting a quarterback can prevent you from addressing. But you know what you can't get in free agency? A quarterback. You have to draft and develop those.
You can get Kirk Cousins. You can get Russell Wilson. You can get Aaron Rodgers. I'm just looking at guys who moved teams through free agency over the past couple of years. So there's usually one or two
that you're going to have to drastically overpay for, with the exception of Russell Wilson, because his contract is already paid for by the Denver Broncos.
Fair. And probably none of them are going to be at the level you want to compete in the ridiculous AFC and with all their quarterbacks. But that's a different story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, thank you very much. Who is rushing the passer this year for us and for camp/preseason? 31-year-old Barrett, Phillips Chubb, major injuries. Who else is on the roster?
The Dolphins hosted Carl Lawson on a visit, which was clearly just an exploration and physical, because I don't even think the people in charge were actually in the building yesterday. I think they were on. Aren't they doing pro day still?
They are.
Because there's this picture of Mike McDaniel with Worthy.
That's old. The Texas Pro Day was last week or the week before. I think the pro days have wound down, to be honest with you.
Okay, so maybe they were in the building. I make the argument and wrote on a piece that got published yesterday for
SI.com/NFL/Dolphins.
Bro, we gotta simplify this for the people.
It's coming.
We gotta figure out something here.
It's coming.
Calais Campbell makes way too much sense for this organization. And for $7 million, he can fix your line problems. So, and Calais is in no rush to sign with anybody, in no rush to do training camp. He's in the, I'll show up when I show up, but he's always ready for the season. And when you get to double digits in the NFL, and this is what I know from having friends who've been double digits in the NFL, they don't need all that stupid foolishness. They don't. They know they've played in every scheme. They know how to get their bodies right. They don't need to put extra mileage on their legs. They don't need reps and OTAs. They don't need to participate in mini camp. They don't need to do all this foolishness in training camp. They know how to get themselves ready for the season. Calais is one of those pros. I would expect Miami to be in, if they don't add a defensive lineman or edge player in this draft, I definitely expect that to be something that they explore if they don't decide to sign a Carl Lawson for nickels and a penny today or tomorrow.
And my expectation would be that they very well might sign Carl Lawson, who actually had, I want to say, 7 sacks for the Jets 2 years ago as a starter, started all 17 games. Last year, injured, is back in the spring. Jermaine Johnson, who had been their first-round pick in 2022, took over, blew up, made the Pro Bowl, had a big year, and they had Bryce Huff on the other side. And Carl Lawson kind of fell by the wayside. Very, very few snaps. But there's something there with the dude. So wouldn't shock me if they signed him. And then tacked on to that with a pick, maybe first round, maybe second round. And to answer the question as to who else is on the roster, Zeke Vandenberg spent all of last year on IR as a rookie free agent, and also Cameron Good. But like Chubb and Phillips, he's also recuperating from a nasty knee injury. He tore his patella tendon.
There's also Quentin Bell. Mr. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Max Crosby. Sorry.
Mr. Thank you.
Of Hard Knocks fame. Sorry, Quentin. Apologize. Crazy Greek. Thank you very much. Tua is a one-step-at-a-time quarterback. Long ball, check. Health, check. Beat a winning team, Cowboys, check. Next step is winning a playoff game. I think he wins the Super Bowl in 3 years based on steps. Thanks, guys.
Who part is not waiting for no 3 years. Come on. I threw the bait in the water.
Hold on. Hold on. He plays on the fifth. He plays on the fifth-year option. If the Dolphins win a playoff game, and Tua is not just a passenger, and the Dolphins don't win despite him, but they win with him or because of him, then all bets are off. Then, yeah, I'm all for signing him to a long-term contract extension if he gives signs in 2024 of being that dude.
What does he need to do?
You know exactly what he needs to do. Step up, elevate. Key moments.
Win a playoff game.
It's not as simple as just saying win a playoff game, because he could play like crap. And I'll give you an example. Skylar Thompson, all due respect, was not good in that playoff game at Buffalo, and the Dolphins almost won. Why? Because they had 3 takeaways and a 50-yard punt return, which set up scores. So it's not as simple. And because, for example, Crazy Greek mentions a Dallas game. By the way, if you believe in, I think it may have been PFF, if you believe in those things, that was one of his worst graded games of the year. He was not good against Dallas. And that
He
final drive,
converted a critical third down, which was basically a check down to Tyreek, a quick hitch to Tyreek. And
it's a wide
Tyreek
receiver
ran,
screen. It's a wide receiver.
yeah, Tyreek ran for first down.
Which not 20, but 30 quarterbacks would have completed. I mean, seriously, there was no heavy lifting there. And that's what I need to. You asked me, Omar. That's what I need to see.
Thank you for answering the question, sir.
You're quite welcome, my friend.
Yes. My hair is too tight, so I got a headache. So all the fight is left out of me. You like my hair?
I like it. Do I like your hair?
Yes.
Would you be offended if I said,
ouch?
Sorry.
No.
It's very rare that I'm going to have a strong reaction to a guy's hairdo unless it's really, really good that I'm envious or it's laughably bad. And you fall in between. So sorry.
Have you guys seen Dolphins Twitter boobygate? Oh God, yes.
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it. What is it?
I don't understand, so I'm not going to speak on it. Marissa Marino and a number of, and I understand the struggles that they have because I worked with Miko Grimes, despite what you say, but despite what people say, Miko is one of the most informed and smart sports people that I've ever come across. And she knows more about sports than 95% of the sports community, not just girls. She's not a smart woman sports analyst. She's brilliant when it comes to sports analysis. And that's all sports, which is why I choose to work with her. Not only that, she's like a big sister to me. And because I did a radio show with her for 2 weeks. And not only because she was Brent Grimes' wife, but because she had boobs, she had no business talking about sports, which is inaccurate and factually inaccurate. She played professional basketball. Like, clearly she knows basketball. She's been part of Gilbert Arenas' podcast, sitting there with NBA players talking about and analyzing basketball. She clearly knows basketball and she clearly knows football, but because she's got tits, like boobies. What do you know? You got boobies, and that's how the male audience dealt like that with her for probably half a year till they realized, wow, she really knows what she's talking about, and she can educate me, and her takes are good. And apparently Marissa Marino and that crowd, and I don't know who triggered it off, there's something going on with where they can't, people have issues about what they're posting. Yeah, I don't really understand it, but then that's like the plight of
it's a good take or it's not a good take. I mean, what depends?
Yeah, but they're discounting it because they're women. And so here's my thing, and this is what I said to her when I asked her what this is about. Here's my personal opinion. It would be difficult for you, Alan Poupard, to explain or understand my struggles, Omar Kelly's struggles, as an African-American male, because you don't live in my world. You don't live my existence. You don't deal with what I deal with. Just like, I can't comment on you being a Canadian in America.
I can't appreciate maple syrup like I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like maple syrup. Why does it need to be Canadian? Canadian bacon. Why does it need to be Canadian? So in this situation, while I saw it and I saw her boobies and I knew it was going to go viral. And I'm like, I wish you wouldn't have done that because all people are going to see is boobies. And that's not going to add to her sports analysis. She's making a point. And just because I don't understand the point doesn't mean that it's not a valid point. So I support her and all of the booby gators who are women who have takes and want to be respected for their takes, not for what they post or what they don't post.
Got it. Okay.
That's how I take it. And just because I don't understand it, that doesn't mean it's not valid. And I will acknowledge that I don't really understand it. But if you're asking me, if they're saying that this is part of our struggle and this is what we're doing to counteract our struggle, I'm all in support of it. You're like, huh?
No, I'm like, is that really gonna change minds though?
I don't know.
So what? So what? She flashed to prove a point. I'm not familiar with the incident with the whole booby gate, so that's why I'm speaking from a point of ignorance. So I don't know that if that's what she did. That's
they're
really
giving they were giving football analysis and breakdowns like in provocative attire, kind of distracting people.
Okay. Again. Yeah, it's. I'm not a woman, so I can't. I haven't.
It's over my head. Yeah.
So yeah, it's over my head too. Anyway, let's move on. The daddest dad. I thought I was the daddest dad. Okay. Anyway, if Latou is there at 21, do you draft him or trade down? I'm going to take that one real quickly. The Dolphins should have a list prepared of every guy they have their eye on who logically could be there around 21. And it should be a long list.
Don't do it at 21. Do it at 30. Because if you move down, you got to evaluate. You got to have these grades. You got to have grades for guys.
No, but I understand that. But I'm saying, but 21 and around. So like 21 is your median and around.
Yeah.
And then see who has gone off the board by then. If there are enough names that remain where you're going to be confident you're going to get one of those guys at 28 or 29, where however far back you trade down, absolutely trade down. Obviously, it takes another team to be willing to move up because it takes two to make a trade.
Mm-hmm. Takes two to tango. I am dying. It's to me, getting more draft picks has to be a priority because, as we've discussed, you got 4 young players on this team worth developing. 4 out of 50.
Under 25, yeah.
Under 25.
I think the best way to describe it, as opposed to the age, would be in their first contract. Because that's when you really develop after 4 years. And this is where the Dolphins, the list grows narrower because Waddle's entering his 4th year, so it's going to be option time. Same with Phillips. And then Javon Holland's heading into the final year of his rookie contract.
What's this about Hal breaking embargo?
No. Don't reveal business out there. We'll talk off air. Don't reveal business.
Okay.
Taryn, thank you very much.
I know what they're doing. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Going back to Dad's dad. No, to answer your question, Latou's not a must. So that's why if it doesn't have to, it's not a Latou or bust at 21.
That seems to be the name that everybody is all hot and heavy about. The UCLA pass rusher, I can't say his name, which basically guarantees he's not going to be there. So,
also be aware, this is a guy whose career at the University of Washington ended because of a neck injury. Heading into his sophomore year during fall practice, then the UW medics would not clear him. Eventually wound up at UCLA. So if the Dolphins draft him, understand he does come with some risk. However, as I wrote on si.com/NFL/Dolphins, and I know it's long-winded, we'll come up with a name soon. Kind of similar to Jalen Phillips in a way. And not only that, he wore 15 at UCLA, just like Jalen Phillips.
Does he look like a Greek god, though?
No.
Okay.
In fact, there's nothing. The big difference is Jalen Phillips. You one look at him and you're like, that guy looks like a stud pass rusher in the NFL. Latou is all about production, technique, nonstop motor, and all that.
I need to see the body.
You will come away unimpressed. I mean,
I won't come away impressed.
No, I mean it's more impressive than what you and I look like, but that's a low bar.
Hey, speak for yourself, brother. I've been in this gym.
Yeah,
I'm getting my Pilates on.
No,
I'm doing sweat 440 workouts now, huh?
I've been playing tennis and I'm thinning out. So.
Oh yeah. Joe said you are been kicking his butt, which is
It's not totally true, but
He said you give him a good game.
no, I more than give him a good game, but it's
See,
not.
just say it. Just say you've been kicking Joe Rose's ass. Just say it.
No, we played yesterday and we split 2 sets. So
What happened to the third? What happened to the fifth set?
no, we split 2 sets. We didn't play a third because we were both dead. And we're not youngins anymore. In case you hadn't noticed.
Yes.
John Panaccio.
I want defense in the draft. Edge is a priority. Is it though? Is it really?
I agree.
No, it's not. You signed Carl Lawson. You got enough to make it to the season until October. Do you not?
Yeah.
And throw on some late round releases and throw on a Malik Reed. Come on, you got enough. You can make it through. You signed Carl Lawson.
Okay. I don't know when you became Malik Reed's agent, and all due respect to Malik Reed, Dolphins cut him out of training camp. He didn't make the 50.
And he was probably a top 5 player in that Kansas City Chiefs playoff game with an injured knee. What you got there?
You got beat 26-7, where there are a ton of players who really had good games. I mean, come on.
All right. He was still balling. He was balling.
Keep it real. He had a good game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did. He had a hell of a special team performance. Like that, to me, I'm like, that guy earned my respect from that 1-2 performance. I got to see this Latui Latahi, whatever his name. I can't say his name.
Latu. No, Latu.
He's got the same dimensions as Phillips.
He doesn't look a thing like Jaden Phillips.
Wow.
And that's no disrespect, because Jaden Phillips is put together.
Yeah.
Stephen LeMay, think we should trade down and get a D-line, O-line, and receiver with the first 3 picks. Reek's days are coming to an end. Need youth at receiver. Not wrong.
He's not wrong, but Reek is still going to be here 2025. He is.
We sure about that?
Yeah.
How sure are we? On a scale of 1 to 100, how sure are we about that?
80. Like, yeah, they're not. Trust me, they're still. They know who stirs the drink of this organization, and don't take that anywhere. Just let it be. Just let it lay there. Just let it. Just let it lay there. Just walk away. You're debating with yourself.
No. Dude, I'm one of the ones who said all along that he's been voted MVP the past 2 seasons. He's the one who makes this offense special.
He is.
But again, not getting any younger, even though he's still relatively young. And it's just a fact that he's kind of limped to the finish line the past 2 years. And this is why I don't think we ever addressed this. The idea of him returning kickoffs under the new rules is absolutely awesome. The things he could do with that are truly exciting in terms of possibilities. However, do we really want to tax him more?
You know what I was thinking when you said that? I think Tyreek needs a Raheem Mostert program. So I'm fine if Tyreek doesn't practice every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
No,
he is in the 30-year-old club. He's a very important player. Mileage is very important. Let's create a program for old man Tyreek.
I'm not opposed to that. Speaking of Raheem, by the way, we should mention little nugget here. He's in Los Angeles this week for the broadcast and media.
Is he?
The name of it? Workshop. Yes.
Workshop. Yes.
And there was a picture out there. I thought I saw Teron Armstead in the picture. I wrote a story on it. On this.
Teron doing it too?
Here's the thing. So I saw the picture. There was actually Chase Daniel, the longtime NFL backup quarterback. Dude's make himself a career. I don't think he's played 5 games, but he's been in the league for 15 years. Anyway, he tweeted out a picture of the whole group. I clearly spotted Raheem. Raheem had a tweet about it being there. I wrote about it for SI.
Yeah, Raheem. I've seen Raheem do things. I'm looking up this Chase Daniels. Try to find this picture.
Okay, look in the back towards the middle right.
Oh, there's absolutely Tehran.
It is Tehran. Okay, I wasn't 100% sure, so I did not include him in the story because I didn't want to be wrong.
There's Tehran. Raheem. I'm trying to see if I know any. I know a lot of these players. Okay.
Logan Ryan is out there.
Matthias, the pass rusher from the Saints. Andy Dalton is there. There's Chase Daniels. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of these guys. Hold on. Who is it? Okay.
So anyway, you might see Raheem Mostert on NFL Network, Good Morning Football at some point. Like Jason McCourty took part in that workshop a couple of years ago, and that guy's really good. He's very, very good on that show.
Jason McCourty? I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from.
You don't like him? Oh, really?
No, I think he's very overrated on that show. Not a fan.
Okay, disagree.
No offense.
You got somebody. Hi, Omar. Remember me? You blocked me from Twitter like 15 years ago.
Who is this?
Unblocked a man already. Franco Montes de Oca.
Did he contribute?
No. What? Then you're not unblocking it?
Contribute $1, Frank, and I'll unblock you.
Is that how we roll now?
Yeah. Pay for play.
Come on, there's really.
I'm like a college prospect, college football prospect. Pay for play, baby.
Nil.
We should probably get a 6 for 2. Stop.
That's as ridiculous as somebody out there throwing out Tua to the Vikings for their 2 number 1 picks.
Didn't we discuss that or something? I think we did. We discussed it, and if you're giving me your 2 number 1 picks for Tua,
bye. See ya. You actually think the Vikings would do that? Are you serious?
No, especially with Brian Flores there. Come on, let's be real. You didn't even make that connection, did you?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it. That would be awesome.
That will never happen. Okay, there are 2 people in this world that I know who dislike each other tremendously, if not hate each other. I only fall short of saying hate because Tua is one of those people in this world who probably will never say he hates somebody, but he falls just short of hating Brian Flores. And I think that
took him a long time. Sorry, Omar. It took him a long time to even just mention his name after Flores left.
I don't know if he still mentioned his name.
I believe he said it once. I can't remember
I don't know if he said his name. He will not say his name.
I believe he said it once. Here's an interesting point from Jason. Tua on his rookie deal, and we're a fringe wildcard team still searching for our first playoff win. How do you expect it to get better after he gets paid?
People get healthy. You build a better roster.
There you go. Okay.
Build a better offensive line. People get healthy. People stay healthy. I'm sorry. They could have made some noise at the end of the season if they were healthy, in my opinion. Tough games. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City. Those are 3 teams that you probably might never beat. Well, you probably beat Buffalo now because they're kind of a watered down version of themselves.
We sure about that?
Yeah, I am.
You think the Dolphins sweep the Bills in 2024?
No, you're never going to sweep the Bills.
You think they split?
Yeah, maybe. Depends.
Okay, maybe it's not exactly.
Josh Allen comes for visitation rights. Like it's you never know. Like Josh Allen is the problem, so I'm not going to deny that. And as long as he's still there, he's going to be the problem. But who's to say how he's going to perform this in 2024, especially without Stephon Diggs? All right.
Give him the benefit of that. Did I miss something, by the way? Scrummy's saying, I agree with Omar. We got to cut Tua. When did you ever say the Dolphins have to cut Tua?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I would never cut Tua.
I know. That's like blasphemy.
Never. Now, would I trade him? Depends on what the offer is, but I never cut him.
You trade him for a 1?
No. I've already got a proven commodity. A 1 is an unproven commodity.
1 and a 3?
No. That's 2 players. I've got a top.
But you would not trade him for 2 1s if you got that?
2 1s?
Yeah.
Depends on how low the 1s are, but if
11 and 23.
Depends on what quarterback I could get at 11, but possibly.
At 11, you have 11 and 23. You're looking Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. territory.
if Michael Penix Jr. is there, I might consider it. Might.
There's some folks who have Michael
not
Penix
opposed.
Jr. There's some folks who have Michael Penix Jr. going in the second round, Omar.
I know that, and that's fine because people are idiots.
Okay.
So the one thing the NFL has proven is they don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Have they not proven that? NFL teams.
It's the toughest position to evaluate by far.
And I'm real good on my evaluation. I'm confident, and I.
Whoa. A little list from Omar to Omar.
No, I'm just if like everything has to work out right, and the system has to be right, and the talent around them has to be right, and the coaches has to be right, and can't have collateral loss and constant change like Tua faced in his first couple of seasons. But
oh my God. Like Justin Fields faced his first 4 seasons, like Justin Herbert faced his first 5 seasons.
Yeah, but Tua's shown more than Justin Fields. Let's be real about it.
That's fine, but let's also not pretend that Tua is only the quarterback who's had to deal with.
I did not say that. I did not say that. So.
Okay. Ohio John. Thanks, Ohio John. Anything in particular Tua is looking to get from working with John Beck that he won't get from his QB coach, Darrell Bevel?
I'm out. That's all you.
Well, unless I'm severely mistaken, we can't work with Darrell Bevel until the offseason program. That's not allowed by NFL rules. So that's one thing he can get.
And he can't even do field work when they start on Tuesday.
Correct. It's conditioning and meetings for the first 2 weeks. That's phase 1. So that he can do right away. Outside of that, that's kind of the main thing, to be honest.
John Beck and House, they're working on his footwork, fundamentals, technique, hip, torque, blah, 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 blah.
I'm not even going to say anything. Mike Best. Thank you, Mike. What's up, guys? I finally
Hey, Mike.
There you go. Keep up the great work at work. Appreciate you guys. Would you guys ever do a when podcasters unite, but with fans or regulars like me? Would be cool. We did one with podcasters. With regulars, that's tough because the problem is who do we pick to do it? You know?
Correct. You would be a candidate, though, Mike. You and Killer Smurf. They're part of my favorite.
No, my Mike would get my vote too, but that's Ohio John too is also somebody would be high on my list, but that's a problem with it.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. We've been a podcast where we'll try anything. We'll figure it out. Damn, I still didn't get somebody for Podcast Unites tomorrow. My bad.
No, dude, let's go with just 3. We'll talk about it.
Really? Just 3?
Yes. It's a special. It's a special kind of media roundtable and our personal goodbye to a good dude.
Gotcha.
Okay. Isaiah Tua is a legit top 10 quarterback. He is going into his 3rd year, same system, first time ever. Wrong. Tua will be better this season, no matter how we diced it. He was in the MVP conversation 2 years in a row. Third year in the same system. Sorry, what?
Everybody need money. My son just asked me for money. And of course, I'm a sucker, so I'm going to give it to him.
Okay.
So now I'm down $100.
Tua is a legitimate top 10 quarterback. Are we sure about that?
Nope. We've done the math. We've done the numbers. He's not in the top 10. And we have done it.
Here's the thing too with Tua that it's actually kind of weird that you have a guy. If you list his credentials, you go like purely like numbers, passer rating leader in 2022, passing yardage leader in 2023, Pro Bowl starter, team made the playoffs the last 2 years, and yet. Again, this is not just Omar and I saying it. I think a lot of media folks and I think NFL GMs would have Tua maybe probably outside the top 10. And that's, again, he's a good quarterback. He has not yet been elite. He's been elite early in the season. mostly against inferior opposition. Omar, is that your headache talking, or is that your
this is what you're doing, and I'm not coming in.
or is that, hold on, or is that your, damn, I hate what he's saying, but he's right. Look,
not biting the bait. Yes,
you're no fun.
Tua needs to be, if he wants to be considered elite, he needs to put his cape on and deliver elite performances. There was a big, this is what I was telling you, I was thinking about right now, and then I kind of, the whole Christian Wilkins comment on Tua, because he said a whole lot of words, but when asked if Tua's a system quarterback, he tap danced around it and didn't answer the question. And I kind of understand why he didn't answer the question, because really, what's the point of saying somebody's a system quarterback? They're all system quarterbacks, but every single one of them is a system quarterback. But Tom Brady played in the same system for 18 years. Aaron Rodgers has never played in any other system than what he's in, and he chose the New York Jets because they're running his system. What I don't like is that everybody's a system quarterback, but then there are the special quarterbacks who can break the system and who don't need the system and who defy the system. They're like the Neo from the Matrix, where it doesn't matter what you throw at them. They have elite skill and elite abilities to transcend the system and overcome whatever you do. The Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, used to be the Aaron Rodgerses. Okay, not everybody's like that. Now, unfortunately for the Miami Dolphins, you got 3 code breakers in your division. In your conference, and 1 in your division. Is Tua that player yet? No, he's not. Can he become that player? I think he can. And he's worked hard. He's gotten better. Tell me the year he hasn't gotten better. He's gotten better. What?
You talking about Tua?
Yeah.
Did you not pay attention to the story I wrote for si.com/NFL/Dolphins, where I pointed out that a lot of his numbers kind of leveled off last year? He was better in certain areas, and he wasn't quite as good in other areas. As you roll your eyes, but that's the damn truth. So this notion that it's gone strictly like this,
looking on the field when he stayed healthy for an entire season. 2, the numbers were off the hook. 3, yes, he delivered big plays.
Numbers were not off the hook in certain instances, i.e. fourth quarter, i.e. third down. They were not off the hook. Sorry.
Okay, you selectively pick. Look at him in a totality.
And there was a number that was also significantly smaller, is that in 2023, he had more passes way over the top to Tyreek, but he didn't shoot the middle of the field 20 yards downfield like the Dolphins did in 2022.
Maybe because he didn't have a middle of the field weapon.
Or maybe because the opposing defenses just realize, like, oh, you know what? They love to do that all day long. Let's take that away from them. Duh.
Yeah. Second year in the offense. Offense needs to evolve. The running game evolved last year. And
then that's the question: how much can the passing game evolve with what Tua can do? The passing, and here's the thing about the system quarterback is, like, obviously every quarterback, like, for example, this notion that if the Dolphins bring in a quarterback from the outside, well, he couldn't do what Tua does in this system. The system is specifically tailored to what Tua does best. You don't think if they get somebody from outside that Mike McDaniel's going to tweak it specifically to fit what that new quarterback
he talks about that all the time. This offense is catered to the talent that they have.
Correct. I mean, that's kind of,
and so now Jonnu Smith is the offense is going to be tailored around what he brings to the table, as well as everybody else. So, yes.
Correct. And by the way, so just to finish off your point, Isaiah, because you point out, of course, the Ravens game, which was week 2. And if you saw that game, and it wasn't Tua was great that game. If you saw that Baltimore secondary and couldn't see what an absolute mess that thing was, I don't know what to tell you. And this is, if you want to say that's me again, taking credit away from Tua, go for it. But if you recall the game-tying touchdown, basically it's Tyreek Hill running down the left sideline with nobody within 15 yards of him because the two Ravens DBs were like, "You got him. No, you got him. No, you got him. No. Okay, fine, let him run." Come on.
Well, we got some questions coming in here.
No, we do actually. So let's take care of.
I just put it up.
Oh, I was going to look it up. Actually, I saw that question from our good friend.
Okay, then I'll let you look it up, and I'll go to this one. Okay. Hey guys, concerning the cap, do you guys? This is from Mark Gomez. Do you guys know why the NFL doesn't promote keeping their players you have drafted by not having a cap with the players you have drafted? The NFL, the business is the business, and the model is the model, and the model is created to choke out people getting pay-sitting deals like Christian Wilkins. The system is not supposed to allow Christian Wilkins to hit the market to artificially inflate his price. The system is created for the Miami Dolphins to take care of that before they get there or tag him. Now, sometimes there are code breakers. There are guys who, and Ndamukong Suh was one of those players. He escaped the system. You know what I'm learning now from a business standpoint? All of these void years are basically forcing teams to release players, preventing them from being, one, unrestricted free agents because they're going to be released players, and two, getting the tag. So void years are creating a ripple effect that is impacting the market from a free agent standpoint. And we probably need 2-3 years of a sample size of seeing, because void years are really new.
But that benefits players and not teams.
Exactly. That's my point. And then when it starts to benefit players and not teams, will they roll it back or will they alter their approach? So we're still trying to figure this out, how these void years factor in, but there are more players being released because of these void years, as opposed to like Kirk Cousins released because they couldn't tag him because they had to release him. So it'll be interesting.
And this is where you don't get a comp pick. For example, if the Dolphins were to sign Odell Beckham, technically he was released by the Ravens, even though he signed a 1-year deal plus something else tacked on to spread things out.
And I think the same thing applies to Kirk Cousins.
We'll have to check on that. I think Kirk Cousins had in his contract last year that they couldn't tag him.
That was okay.
I don't know if it was the same one.
There's a player there. It might not be Kirk Cousins who had to be released to hit free agency, as opposed to actually just hitting free agency. And Odell Beckham falls in that category, but there are many, many more like that as well.
Okay, your answer, Marcellus. Tony Romo career record in November 29-8, which is his best month. December 18-19, January 1-3. So 19-22 in December, January. And if we were to look at Tua's real quick, you can bring up another question while I do this if we have another one.
Yeah, this is for Killer Smurf. Love you guys. I'm Dara Charlie Brown. I don't know. Well, if fans wanted it, put it in the comments of this. If you want a fan-centric podcast, we could do it. We're not hard sticklers to any rules.
Okay, and Tua is 10-10, December, January. So I think they're both 500.
Randy asks, "What do you think of?" I don't know how to say his name. Tua's little brother.
Olia. Why?
I don't think he's a draftable prospect. The arm's not good enough, and I don't want to hear anything from Picard on that. I just don't.
I'm not saying it. Wasn't invited to the combine, and it's a cute story. I get it. Two brothers on the same team, but
he's 5 foot. He's 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
He's got a ridiculous amount of yardage that he's passed for the last 3 years. But I'm looking at a draft breakdown of him: quick release, athleticism, toughness, and even the name recognition. All it takes is a chance if he lands in the right spot, but they project him as an undrafted free agent. I'm sorry, I'm going with a guy with an arm. Don't say a single word. Just walk away from it. Just walk away.
You think I'm walking away from you saying I want the guy with the arm?
Just walk away. Just walk
arm
away.
Queen.
I will own that. Okay, I will own that. Yes, I deserve that.
You cannot throw me a hanging fastball like that and expect me to take a big cut at it. Sorry.
All right.
Johnny Rodden. Yeah, we're winding down here, but we got Johnny Rodden here. Love the show. Why does Greer ignore past injury history when drafting or free agents? Any update on Izukama? Brooks, draft best OT. Armstead gone next year. Need year to mature OT rookie. By the way, if you're going to start eliminating everybody who's got a past injury history, you're going to have a hard time coming up with players. That's
with free agents. Understand, for the price point that the Dolphins are paying these guys, that's older injured players. Sorry. When you're building the back end of your roster, that's what when you're capped out and you've got financial struggles and strain, like, you're signing old and injured players. That's just what you're doing.
Correct. And yeah, would you rather have a guy who is a very marginal player but's never been hurt significantly, or would you rather have a stud who may or may not get injured again, but has that in his background? Again,
as for Uzukama, I've seen him training. I can't remember who he was training with, either Bomarito or what's his name? Who's Tua's Bulldog again? Nick perform, or it could be Tony Villani. I can't remember where I saw him training, but he's training. Best OT, because Armstead's gone next year. I think that there's a strong possibility that that's accurate. And I think that here's the thing. If you don't, I think that Butch Barry's going to have to find some guys in the later rounds that he likes and that he falls in love with, and you address it in the 5th round. Otherwise, you better use 21, because it's not going to be there for you by the time you're back on the board in the 2nd round. O-line, help?
Yeah, no, there's merit to that, and that's why O-line is a strong possibility at 21. And I have said many times that it would be a good idea to get a guy, college tackle, Fautanu from Washington, for one.
Yeah. Play
him at guard for a year. If Armstead plays more than just 2024, and then you kick him out like they did with Laramie Tunsil. I think that's.
I think your choices are going to be the 3rd best outside linebacker, the 4th best wide receiver, or the 6th best offensive tackle, or the number 1 guard center. In my mind, or the 2nd or 3rd best defensive tackle in a very weak defensive tackle draft. You know that, right? You know it's a very weak defensive tackle.
No, correct. Okay.
You're like, okay, what?
No, I'm like, I don't know if I'd necessarily put that.
But knowing Chris Greer, he might draft a cornerback, because Chris Greer does not believe in drafting for needs. He doesn't. He'll flat out tell you.
Jackson, sorry.
He'll flat out tell you that. He doesn't. History. Every was an exception.
Every GM will tell you the same thing.
No.
If I'm a GM who's going to say
Jimmy Johnson,
we're drafting for need.
Jimmy Johnson. We had him on the Joe Rose show. I'll find it for you. And Jimmy was basically like, we all love to say we don't draft for need, but we do, and I prefer to draft for need.
Okay, now he's saying this, 20 years after he got done coaching?
At the time he was doing it. Finally telling the truth.
Correct. At the time he was doing it, because I see those GM comments from all over the place, and it's all, we're going to take the best player available. I mean, it's like, and part of that is they don't want to tip their hand.
Also, they rate their board based on needs.
Correct.
It's you sit there in the final, probably next week final week leading up to the draft, and you say him or him based on where we are. 21, him or him. And then that's how you stack up your board. Him or him. That's how you stack up your board. Correct. Him or him.
Correct.
Like that's how, so that you come up with contingency plans.
And position can be the tiebreaker. If you got two guys who are like really, really, really close, well, what do we need more? We need that position more.
Draft. No, this organization makes their best decisions when they're drafting BPA. Jarvis Landry was not a need when they drafted him. And lo and behold, he turned out to be one of their best draftees in a gazillion years. Same thing with Xavier Howard. Cornerback was not a need when they drafted Xavier Howard. Turned out to be one of their best selections. Running back last year was not a need when they drafted Devon Akers.
There is no such thing as not a need unless you have 5 studs at one position. Sorry. I mean,
I hear your point.
Because again, you always have, and especially nowadays, and especially with the way the Dolphins have been doing business, there's going to be roster turnover at some point because they have a lot of guys with a lot of cap hits and a ton of void years, not a whole lot of guaranteed salary beyond this year. And they're going to need players at different positions. I don't know that there's any. To me, we've already eliminated quarterback because the Dolphins don't do that. I think.
You think they draft a running back? I know they're bringing in a lot of running back.
I think running back would be overkill. But outside of that, you tell me one position that you can eliminate because I just saw a mock that had them taking Jatavius Sanders out of Texas in the second round.
Because they don't pay attention.
Oh, okay.
Like tight end, are they carrying 4? You think they're carrying 4? No, they're not carrying 4. So, yeah, we'll see.
No, but okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That's what the draft is. Fine, folks. We appreciate your time. We will be back tomorrow. We're going to do something. We'll figure it out.
We're going to have a special guest tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have a special guest. Obviously, hope you've enjoyed a lot of the content and the work that we've done on give me a second.
SI.com/NFL/Dolphins.
SI.com/NFL/Dolphins. And we've got great podcasts up this week. Emery Hunt. If you missed that on the draft, man, did that guy name about 20 draft prospects that I'd never heard of that required me to do some research and work. And I want you to be prepared by watching that episode. And then ordering his draft guide, because Simon Clancy's got a draft guide coming out too. We should bring him on the show before before the draft is here. So we will see you tomorrow, mañana. So hasta luego, my friends.